Thanks for joining us once again for Greensboro Glimpses. On this program, we're going to be taking a look at North Carolina art and North Carolina artists. And there's no better place to turn to for that than the GreenHill Center for North Carolina Art, which is right here in our downtown. I'm very happy to have as my guest on this program. On my far left is the Executive Director of GreenHill, Laura Way. Laura, thanks.
Hey,
and next to her,
us.
on my immediate left, is Edie Carpenter. Edie is the Director of Artistic and Cultural Programs. And that sounds like a foreboding title. What does the Director of Artistic and Cultural Programs do?
It's actually, I don't mean to correct you, curatorial program.
Curatorial program, okay. The website said Director.
I'm a little bit of the, people often ask me if I actually practice an artistic medium myself.
Yeah.
No, I think of myself as the artist or my medium. And one of my main jobs is just trying to be aware and get to know as many artists as possible that have a connection to North Carolina. And think about their work in ways that would allow GreenHill to present them in our professional nonprofit art space, which is one of the real jewels of the state.
Yeah, absolutely, it sure is. Well, that's interesting. Now, do you go first after the artist or after the type of work?
It's a combination. And a calendar year like we are about to begin here at GreenHill as we close out our annual winter show, which is a big rendezvous in North Carolina, which is a 100-person exhibition, and that we present every year and opens the first Saturday in December. So as we end that exhibition and we think about the shows that are going to come up until next year's winter show, I like to think of it as offering something for everyone. So right now we're about to transition from an 105-person show to a 2-person show. Wow. Featuring 2 artists that work in rather experimental mediums. One of them is a local artist, Dane Winkler, who is on the faculty at UNCG. He holds the sculpture position. And he's going to be bringing in over a dozen monumental sculptures, and some of them are made from materials such as hay. There is a crocheted rug that hangs from the ceiling. There is an enormous bowl-shaped piece that is made out of metal as well as fiber. The construction of the calendar really varies from these large exhibitions to a small exhibition and thematic exhibitions. We have one this year that's concentrating on sweet foods, and we'll have something to seduce all of us.
I'll be there for that. Well, that's interesting because, you know, when the word art, a lot of people think only of paintings, but you cover the full gamut of art.
Yes, we do, and you know, artists today use, you know, an incredible variety of mediums. It can be very ephemeral. It can be almost invisible. I was just speaking to a colleague who came to visit us yesterday, Leah Newman, and we are in the process of organizing a large exhibition on the figure. And she has one, and I said, well, Leah, you know, I'll have to look at your exhibition. She said, there are no figures in my figure exhibition. So, you know, it can be very, you know, wide open.
Sure, absolutely.
When it's contemporary art.
Yeah. Now, do you pay these artists, or do they pay you? How does that work?
An artist who sells work at GreenHill, they receive 60% commission on their work. The 40% we retain, it helps support the education and exhibition programs. An artist who is doing an installation like the 2 artists, one space that Edie just talked about, those 2 artists, Dane and Kathy, receive a modest honorarium for installing their work in a site-specific exhibition. We don't charge artists. We look at our job, and our mission is to support and promote the visual arts of North Carolina, and our job is to really position position the artists of North Carolina in meaningful ways throughout their career. And so taking a fee from them to show them, it would be sort of counter to what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah. You know, we assume, I guess, that everybody knows where you are, but maybe we better tell some of the viewers that may not know.
Well, we are located in the Greensboro Cultural Center. We're on the, interestingly enough, on the second floor.
Right.
So if you come in off of Davie Street, we are right there. We're 13,000 square feet of gallery. We have the shop and the studios, and you can't miss it once you enter the building. If you come in from the Church Street side, just go up one floor and walk a little bit west, and you will hit our space.
Okay, and your hours? We're
open 12 to 5, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 10 to 7 on Friday evening, on Fridays, and Friday evenings, our mission to the studios is pay what you wish. Whether you pay $1, 50 cents, $5, but it's our evening to really open it up to anyone who wants to come, where price may be a barrier to any other day. And then we're open Saturday and Sunday. 2 to 4 on Sunday.
And what are your admissions otherwise?
The admission to the studio is $6 per person, and then we have a recommended donation for the gallery of $5, but again, it's pay what you wish. If you feel that that's a barrier, please just walk in and enjoy the art. If you want to put in $1 or $5, we really appreciate it because it supports our mission.
Great. You got a lot of posters and things
we
there.
Do.
Tell us about some of the things that are coming up. Yeah.
Well, so this is our 2 Artists, 1 Space card, and it is the exhibition that is opening in the beginning of February, and then Edie has something around our first Friday, and I'm going to let Edie actually talk about this group.
Okay.
Yeah,
go ahead.
First Friday, February 1st. It's also the anniversary of the Greensboro 4. We have invited Sahara Reggae Band, and it's a very large ensemble, to come and just be wide open in the gallery. You know, we're heading into some cold weather, and they're going to warm it up for us in the gallery. Yeah. And we don't often have enough room to host such a large dance band, but for February 1st, we're going to have half the gallery open. Then we're going to be having our opening reception the next week for 2 Artists, 1 Space with Kathy McLaurin and Dane Winkler in attendance. So those are our upcoming events at the beginning of next month.
Big doings. Yeah.
And then we have some other programming.
Art on the Rocks, which we did this the first time in the fall. So this is it's $20 per person. If you're a student, it's $8 per person. It's February 22nd, and it's just a fun night in the gallery. We're going to have a scavenger hunt, gesture drawing,
incredible
drinks. All the drinks are a little spicy. They could be hot, but I think they'll be on ice and a little spicy. And we're calling it Some Like It Hot. And it's just a really good way to sort of get in, get to know the gallery, get to know GreenHill, support our education programs and our artist programs, and it's just a really fun event. And then in March, we're actually doing a luncheon called Connecting the Dots, where we're bringing in a senior vice president from Wells Fargo out of Charlotte, and he's going to talk to, and it's geared towards employers, and he's going to talk to us about the value of the arts in building community and how having a vibrant, strong art scene in your city helps employers attract and retain employees. As we all know, it costs so much money to have constant turnover, and you want people to come to your community, get involved, stay engaged, and stay here and become an important member of our community. So that's what this luncheon is about. Get engaged with GreenHill, get engaged with all we do, multidisciplinary program, from cradle to grave. You know, there's something for everyone. And so we're going to make the case that having GreenHill as a thriving, vibrant organization is to the entire benefit of the community, and we're asking for people to support it.
And that is when?
That is on March 19th, and it's a luncheon.
Okay, and all this information is on your website.
It will
if
be
people
on
don't get all these dates
Yes.
as we're talking about it. Well, both of you have been not only at GreenHill, but been involved in the arts in this area for a long time. And I think it's safe to say that Greensboro certainly doesn't have to apologize or take a back seat for the arts in the city. I mean, we've got an awful lot to be proud of here.
We do. Absolutely. I mean, Greensboro just finished and has an approved cultural arts master plan led by City Councilwoman Nancy Hoffman and then Jackie Gilliam. It's a very important roadmap for the future of the arts. And then you look at the arts organizations in this building alone, the Center for Visual Artists, the ballet, EMF, the symphony, and then you go outside elsewhere where they just appointed a new interim director, and the Forge. Greensboro has arts that I'd like to say, you know, Charlotte may have bigger and they may be glossier, but they're not doing it any better than we are. We really work hard throughout our community to support every citizen and every artist.
We do, and I think my understanding is that attendance and participation in GreenHill is continuing to grow.
It is. Yeah. We serve about 30,000 people a year, if not more.
Wow.
And over our since 1974, you know, 47 years?
Yeah.
I can't do the math. But we've served well over 1 million people.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're looking for the next million.
Absolutely, and it'll come quicker than the first million, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You've got a pottery thing coming up too, don't you? Something in connection with Seagrove?
Yes, in association with the two-person exhibition, we have a small survey of Seagrove potters. And it is curated by Elizabeth, who also runs our shop. And it's a selection of 8 Seagrove potters, a smaller group. But there's also a talk by the new director of the Seagrove Pottery Center, North Carolina Pottery Center at Seagrove.
And that's quite an interesting place too. If nobody's ever been there, or people that haven't been there, it's interesting to go down to Seagrove and see what some of these people do. Well, in addition to all the exhibits and all the things, programs and special things that you do a lot of educational things. I'm thinking, for example, adult workshops. You have those. Tell us about those.
So our adult workshops, we have 2 types of adult workshops. One is our art and wellness program. There's a program tonight. And then the other is just an adult workshop. The art and wellness program is it's a shorter period. It's 5:30 to 7, and that's really focused on, you know, taking a breath and sort of centering yourself, and then doing an art project that's meditative. You will take it home with you, but it allows you to sort of think about your creative practice and how you can incorporate it into your life. And then our workshops, our general workshops for adults, are just a fun way to come together in community, bring a friend, bring a bottle of wine or soda, whatever you want, a little bit of food, and just have a good time creating something and learning something new, and just becoming more aware of your own creative spirit and testing that.
Yeah, and you also have these for children too, don't you? Workshops for children.
All the time.
Yeah.
So on Fridays, we start at 10 o'clock with Masterpiece Fridays, where with the littlest one, you know, toddler running around, where we hand them a lollipop so that we get them all sugared up, and we take them into the gallery, and they sit in front of works of art, and we read books, and then they have activities in the studio. But then anytime after we're open at 12, children and families come into the studios and work together or make new friends and work in groups and pairs, and it's experiential. So we allow everyone to find their own way through art materials and process and finding their own way to express themselves through the arts. And then we have group visits with Guilford County Schools, all the private schools, and a myriad organizations throughout Greensboro and the Triad.
How big a staff do you have? It must take a lot of people to do all of this.
Well, there's 5 full-time staff members, and then there's 14 total. So we do a lot. We just counted yesterday, 483 programs in the calendar year 19.
Really?
And with the staff of 14, that's a lot of programming.
That's a lot of programs, absolutely. How far in advance do you have to contact these artists and line them up? It must take a while to get everything coordinated.
Yes, we're planning 2 years in advance.
Oh.
As far as actually solidifying it, it's a little bit less than that.
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned art a la carte a little bit earlier. I'd like to hear more about that. Tell us about art a la carte.
So art a la carte is a biennial event, and it happens in the even years. So we are planning for Art a la carte 2020 already, and we have a great committee helping us do that. And we think, so the last few years we've had Art a la carte in our gallery for the cocktail hour, and then we've gone across the street and had the event at Center City Park. But we're thinking about taking it outside of our space into other art spaces for the next one, just to shake it up. And you know, GreenHill is not confined by its walls. You know, anywhere where we can support North Carolina art, you're supporting us, because that's our mission. So we're working on what that'll look like for the next one.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That's really exciting as well. Now you have tours, I think, group visits, people that maybe just want to come and go through. You have guided tours, conducted tours? Or are people on their own?
Edie does that.
Anyone can make an appointment, a small or large group, and have a tour by myself or my assistant through the gallery.
Now, you've mentioned the term curator several times. As opposed to a director, what is a curator? What does a curator do?
Well, the idea of a curator is someone who takes care of art, but in the sense of GreenHill, since we don't have a permanent collection, what I'm taking care of are the exhibitions and the artists. So I think that's the way I look at it in an exhibition space like GreenHill, and trying to make GreenHill an organization that represents all the artists, and that I think that we can't be defined from one type of work. We are less specific in that way, but we are very specific in terms of the geographical connection that GreenHill has always had since its foundation, and offering a professional space for the artists of North Carolina in whatever medium, in whatever context, in whatever position that they have. They can be, you know, a wonderful figurative painter, or they can be a very cutting-edge conceptual artists, but if you are working at a certain level, we are able to represent you.
I'm wondering, do you ever make any value judgments about the art that you exhibit, or do you let these people bring whatever they want to bring?
Well, going to back to your question about curating, for most of the exhibitions, I am working very closely with the artists in terms of what works are going to be presented. I don't generally edit, but it has happened. But for a large exhibition such as, for example, the Winter Show, it's really the artists who select the works that they would like to present. The artist is admitted into that show, and then they select. They often ask for advice, and I'm always happy to give it.
Yeah. Well, I was just wondering if you ever had to say to somebody, "I'm sorry, we just can't use that."
It has happened. In my 15-year history at GreenHill, it has happened on occasion, but it's very rare.
You mentioned earlier that the artists get a royalty for their work. Is that the reason most of these artists exhibit, is in order to sell their work, or is it just strictly for show?
No, I think the artists come to GreenHill because we are a world-class gallery setting, and we treat the artist. We're a professional staff. Edie has credentials that I would match against any other curator in the state, if not the country, and they are given opportunities to really showcase their work in meaningful, important ways. And that's why they do it, because an artist spends a lot of time honing their craft, and they need a place in which to showcase it. And then we do it in such a thoughtful, thoughtful way, it's a natural connection that they would want to come to us. Of course, artists need to make a living,
sure.
and our job is to help support them in that endeavor as well. So from the way we hang it, to label it, to understand and know about the artist and the art, to help if a work is for sale, we try very hard to make sure that any opportunity for a collector, whether they're brand new to collecting or seasoned, to take a piece home and embrace it and make it part of their life, we will help them do that. And then the artist benefits from that, as they should.
Artists that have an exhibit on at any given time, do they tend to spend a lot of time at the galleries, or do they hang and run, so to speak?
It depends.
Yeah.
You know, we are exhibiting the works of artists that come from all corners of the state, so they can't, you know,
Yeah, right,
certain
stay all
artists
the
that are from
time,
very
for sure,
far.
yeah. Do you have docents on hand? I mean, if somebody has a question about a particular piece of art or a genre or something like that, are there people available that can answer those questions?
Yes, the GreenHill staff in general are the docents, and I'm generally always available.
Yeah.
We do have a wonderful group of docents. Our favorite docents are our winter show high school student docents, and this year there are almost 20 of them from the Weaver Academy, right in downtown Greensboro, and also from Grimsley High School. They're senior arts majors.
Well, that leads me to ask you something I did want to ask about volunteers. Are there volunteer opportunities at GreenHill?
Yes, and there are opportunities to volunteer in almost every aspect of GreenHill.
And you have memberships also, don't you? It's a membership organization?
We are a membership organization, so memberships begin at $35 for a friend membership, and well, we'll take any level of membership you would like to give, but they go up to $10,000 or $20,000. And there's benefits of being a member. One is you become part of our family, and then at certain levels you receive discounts, discounts on admission, discounts or free admission to the studios depending upon your level, and then discounts on art purchases, and then at the higher levels you get complimentary tickets to Collector's Choice or other events.
Yeah. I'm just curious, if you can remember, or just a general ballpark, what's the most expensive piece of art that's ever been sold at GreenHill?
Probably in the $10,000 to $12,000 range.
Wow, you get that kind of work. That's really good. Now you have a shop too, so I'm wondering what is for sale at that shop. Is that the work of contributing artists, or where do you get the things that are sold in your shop?
So the shop is essentially a sort of a smaller platform like the gallery. It's curated. Elizabeth Harry is our shop manager, and she selects the artists that'll be in there. The price point tends to be lower, so from a beautiful hand printed card to painting or sculpture, it could go from $5 to usually less than $1,000 in the shop, and it is an entryway into both for artists to show for the first time in the shop, and then also for visitors to sort of find their way through work that it tends to be a little more accessible and understandable, and then they work their way into the gallery and they have a completely new experience within our space.
Now you have a big space there too, and I understand that your gallery can be for rent for people who might want to hold a meeting.
Yes, so we have on our website we have a page about renting out the space. It's from $500 to $1,500, I believe, depending upon the type of event you want to have. And we make it available when we're able to, and an exhibition is appropriate for it. Or if you want to rent the space in the studios, we have different price levels for that depending upon what you want to do.
We talked about the docents earlier and the high school students. Are these interns? Do you have internships?
Yes, we have a long-running curatorial internship program, and I just welcomed a new intern from UNCG today. It's a very strong program. I take applications from our website. Currently, we would be looking for applicants for the summer internships.
Okay, and how do they apply?
They apply online and then through an interview with me. interns have the possibility of curating a small exhibition of their own if they are qualified with our partnership with the Greensboro Public Library.
Wow. What's the average length of service for an intern?
It's generally, the minimum would be 1 semester. I have 2 interns that have already done a semester and they still want to continue. So it goes from 1 semester to up to 2 years. It depends on, but generally it's a semester.
Yeah. So much going on. Do you have your Boys and Girls Club?
Yes, the Boys and Girls Club still comes, and we do workshops with them in their space, and they come and hang out in our space, and it's such a fun program working with the Salvation Army, and it's a really dedicated staff, and they love to come over and have their young teens particularly work through through the things that they're experiencing in their life through the arts. And we do a great job with them.
Absolutely, I'm sure. One of Greensboro's great cultural gems. Ladies, thank you so much for coming and sharing.
You're welcome.
Wish you so much luck in the future. Shouldn't say luck, because it's not luck, it's hard work and the knowledge and the skills that you all bring to it. But you're doing such a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
You bet, absolutely. And as always, we thank you for watching our program.